Yes, we're now live here and in here also we are we are live. Good morning, boys. Good morning, boys and girls. This is a very exciting day. This is the last session we're going to have for role models. It's been 28 weeks, 28 straight weeks. Only one of those. It's a bit more, 29 weeks because only one of those I was at by coincidence, I was at a Joe Dispenza's retreat, and I had to postpone the Motivational Monday due to we had meditation that morning. So we've been going around 14 role models during the past 14 weeks, and we did it in Spanish at first during the pandemic, and we call this Motivational Monday. And the way we call this Motivational Monday is to give you a role model, someone that has impacted millions of people all over the world, and we can give you some insight of what this person does or did when he was alive, and what tips can we use, what skills can we develop in order to thrive, in order to succeed, in order to attain all of those goals we want to attain today. So this morning is very special because we have here Dr. Joe Dispenza, um, all his know-how and all his knowledge. We're going to try to give you an insight of what he's done during the past 30 years, 25, 30 years, and a little bit about what what his life turned out to be because of an accident. So to begin with, he had an accident in 1984, 1983, 1984, in which he was completely devastated. He was running a triathlon. He was running, biking, and swimming. And when he went into the bike at a turning point on a in California, he found himself in front of a truck that crossed the boards of the triathlon, and he became paralyzed. He was completely devastated. He spent a couple of months in ICU, and during that process, he discovered the connection between the brain and the physiology. He's a doctor. He's um, he's um, he's a chiropractor and neurologist, and now he's obviously a professor, writer. He's a best-selling author for several books. He's a research and he's a researcher, and he's specialized in neurology, neuroscience, epigenetics, biochemistry, cellular biology, and he has compounded. He's one of the founders of what they call the neuroimmunology, neuropsycho psychiatrist, neuroimmunology, neuropsychoimmunology. There's a new wave of doctors that have become adept to the concept that um, the brain has impact on your physiology, and one of the ways he does it, because there's many people around the world using his beliefs. There's many people that work with him, uh, conjunction with him, that they do it in different ways, but in the end it's the same process, the process about using neuroscience, epigenetics, that you can change your destiny, you can change your genetics through your brain. You can change your physiology even, and by changing your physiology, he means, for example, he was every single doctor after his accident, every single doctor told him he wouldn't walk again for sure, and that wasn't necessarily true, and most of them gave him a couple of months to live. So, and he's been around for 30 something years now. And one of the things he found out was that um, and he writes it in his one of his first books in 2012. He writes a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And when he says breaking the habit of being yourself, is because some sometimes people tend to think and say and believe things, and they actually they put those words into action. And when you say and you repeat it, that's going to be done. That's going to be your reality. And what he found out was by sending positive messages, by sending messages, imagining something amazing happening, imagining something good happening. For example, he had all his tissues torn, and he would imagine his tissues going beautifully. And he was a doctor, so he knew a lot about anatomy. And he would imagine every single day in his meditation, in his sleep, every time he can close his eyes and think, he would think about all his tissues being reborn, being um, perfectly aligned, and recovering. And that became his reality. And a couple of months went by. He woke up, stood up, and against all odds, against all physicians' culture, against all doctors said, against all his colleagues, he woke up and he stood up. And that's one of the things that it's really important about him. So I wanted to bring him as a role model because we've talked about many people from the past, many people that that have sealed a legacy around the world. People like Mahatma Gandhi, like Nelson Mandela, and those persons are not alive anymore. And we I needed it, some people that are actually doing it right now. We spoke about Tony Robbins. He has a fantastic way of impacting millions of people. And now we have Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe is it's what I would call a uh, a a guru in the sense of how he became accustomed to the meditation process, how he demystified the belief that meditation could be set only for gurus or for people that are illuminated, or for people that are really special, that have some connection with India, and that's it. And one of the things he says in his book is that he demystifies completely those beliefs that really rare people can do it. So, and he puts it like a very simple, quick and easy process, and that's one of the things that creates a great environment when you go to one of his events or one of his retreats. And I just been a couple of weeks ago. I went to one of his retreats, and it's really amazing what he does because he lets you use meditation, and through meditation, is instead of remembering a mantra, which is what transcendental meditators do, instead of doing the old-fashioned way in India. What he does is he connects those mantras. He uses a mantra, but he uses a mantra in a really new belief that you have right now. One of the things he uses is, he would say, what's your goal right now? What's something that's been bothering you for a long time that you want to change? And if there is one thing that you want to change and you haven't been able to do it for so many years, let's put it in writing and let's use meditation to attain it. And you start thinking like you already have it, like you already did it in your meditation. So it's gratitude. You develop gratitude during the meditation, and as you develop gratitude, it's already done. So when you come back to real life, you'll find yourself that in a couple of weeks, in a couple of months, in a couple of years, you will attain that goal. It's just a matter of time. he's been using that for many years now. And and the brain is so powerful that people don't realize the power of the brain. They don't realize that it can change genetics, and he has demonstrated it in several of his research um, studies that he's done, and he has done it with people who have no training, who have no background in the meditation process. People who would go to one of those retreats because they found themselves in it, because they read a book or two books, or they've seen his speeches, they've seen his TED talk or his performances that he has on YouTube, and but he hasn't had any particular training on the meditation, and he would find himself doing it for um for a long time now. There's been like 16 or 17 retreats in the last year and a half or 2 years. Even through this pandemic, he started out doing a fantastic retreat with all the provisions and everything. He was one of the first persons who dared to do a retreat with the pandemic going on, and as a result, the people were connected there. Were connected to such an important and such a blissful energy that there was no impact. There was no one infected with the virus, and he actually has a a study from the previous retreat, which was back in February before the pandemic started, in which he took a placebo. He took like 35 people, and he measured those people. He took them at random. He offered them at random. Do you want to be a part of a study, a part of a research that we're doing? So he found out people, from many different places around the world, because more than 100 countries were there. There's like 1,000 people in one of his events, and he took 35 of them, and he measured with a team of experts from USC, from the University of South California in San Diego. He measured the blood, the brain cells, the brain activity. He measured all the data with obviously with researchers from the university. And what they found out was the best two people that performed in terms of brain activity, in terms of blood cell replacement, in terms of several steps they did. They found out that one of them, they had all the specimens, all the blood, and all the genetic material, and they had all the brain activities from day one to day 7 or day 8. It was an 8-day retreat or something. And what they found out was they put in the blood, the COVID-19, the the virus. They put it in on day 1, and it is spread, and then day 2, day 3, day 4. And he found out that during the process of meditation, the autoimmune system within the blood was the immune system was developed so highly inside his blood vessels that it killed the virus in day 6, day 7, day 5, day 6, day 7. The virus didn't spread, didn't go in. So one of the powerful things, and that's one of the things that invited him to do a workshop, because people would be so entailed in meditation and so dedicated to doing and performing in a in a wonderful way during the retreat, that none of them would be infected. And and then he did it. It's more than 1,000 people in there, and with all the restrictions, with all the social distancing and stuff. But even so, it was really amazing. So in in the book Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, one of the things he does is how how you can overcome your environment, how you can overcome your body, and how can you overcome time. People say I don't have time, I am fat because of my genetics, because my grandfather and my dad or my great grandfather was fat, and I can't excel because the country I live in doesn't give me the opportunity. So one invitation from him is overcome your environment, overcome your body, and overcome your time. There is time, and you can find it. There is a way in the most difficult environments. There is a way to perform, and we have all the tools right now to do it. And overcoming your body, um, people tend to think, no, I can't run a marathon because that's for elite athletes only, and that's a lie. That's a complete set of beliefs that you do in your brain, and once your brain is locked and you're locked into a belief, there's no way unless you change that belief. There's no way you're going to do it. So um, one of the things he says is that we have 60,000, between 60,000 and 70,000 thoughts every single day. And those thoughts are thoughts of things that happened yesterday. So 90% of them are the same thoughts and the same beliefs that you have. So if you have the same thoughts, you're actually thinking in the past. And if you're thinking in the past all the time and you don't um, change anything, and you brush your teeth the same way every morning, you have your coffee every single day in the morning, you go to the toilet every single day, and you do exactly the same thing, it's going to be hard to have a different it's going to be really hard to have a different outcome. So he invites people to start thinking by doing a process of the three brains. He says thinking, doing, being. And once you start thinking, you think, you do, and then you be. And and there's a big gap there from thinking to doing, and there's a big gap from doing to being. But he put it so simple, in which you start out your day, and I said that in my book, Secrets from an Insurance Broker. I have a special model talking about waking up in the morning and what you should do and shouldn't do in the morning. For example, you should every morning listen to something powerful, listen to some fantastic meditation, listen to some good message from a role model, from a religious, whatever, something positive every morning, really early in the morning. And stop the habit of, for example, grabbing your cell phone and checking out WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever those social media platforms. And because what they do, if you check WhatsApp, it's the first thing you do in the morning. You check WhatsApp, check the messages of what someone wanted to tell you during your sleep. Then the thing is that you're gonna be a product of the past, because all of those thoughts that you are having are gonna be reflected on when you listen in the morning. So first thing in the morning, listen to something totally different. Listen to something fantastic, to something amazing, to a role model talking, someone you really like, some music you really fantasize, some music you really enjoy, something different, um and not bringing your brain back into the past again. So that's my first recommendation. I do it. And if you gotta run, go run and listen to music that really helps you expand your brain. But don't start your day checking out WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram stuff, because that's gonna lead you is it's gonna lead you to your your life is going to be based on what happened in the past. And in order to overcome that, what he does is, when you do a meditation in the morning, you do 15 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever time you have, for meditation. When people tell us, when people tell Dr. Joe, they tell, "Oh, I don't have time for meditation. I don't have an hour." So he says, "Okay, so now do 2 hours. If you don't have 30 minutes, do an hour, double the time." And once you start your morning with a meditation, with a mantra, with thinking of your new beliefs, changing the habit of being yourself. Don't be exactly yourself all the time, but try to do some of those changes in your beliefs. Those changes in your thoughts, then you can become and accomplish all of those goals that you have set in your mind. But you have to think it, do it, and be it. um, that process is, people tend to think that it's BS. People tend to think that it's not important, that things will go by, and then as soon as you work every day, you will get the things that you need. But if you want to excel, if you want to be superhuman, if you want to be supernatural, if you want to become something different, if you're going to leave a huge legacy, then you better swift shift change some of those thoughts that you receive every single day, because your brain is going to try to sabotage it. The environment will try to sabotage your thoughts. Your body will try to sabotage your thoughts, and and the time also will try to sabotage it. But the only one who can put a stop on it is yourself, saying to yourself, I can do it. This is my goal. My goal is to impact as many lives as possible. Impact 1 billion people, impact 1 million people, impact 1,000 people, impact my family, improve the life of whatever it is your goal, whatever it is your purpose. Do it, think it, do it, be it. And it's when he surpassed that process, when he was in the hospital, in ICU, he found out that obviously you close your eyes and you start meditating and thinking. And when something really important happens, when something really big happens, something really impactful, when something really stressful, those are where meditation works best, because it will try to lower your stress factors. It would try to lower your ability to react in an impactful way. It would try to reduce your stress, which is really, really, really important on meaningful circumstances or very important circumstances. And one of the things he says he practiced a lot, and I've been trying to practice it for the last few years, is that every single day you put up a thought on something that happens in your life, on some really important belief, really important thing that you want to accomplish, really important thing, or really something really important. I could not hear. You could not. Oh, so sorry. 1 second. Let me check here. Hello, hello. Is it working now? Oh my god. Let me check here. Let me do here. 1 second. Audio. Okay. Hello, hello. Can you hear me now? Audio device. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Can you hear me now? Well, I don't know. Let me see here. Yeah, it's all. It's there. All right. Um, Let me see if there's okay. Okay, so your thoughts are really, really, really important every single day. Putting in new, different set of thoughts, and once you once you recognize, once you admit, once you declare, once you surrender to it, then it's gonna be so powerful because people people tend not to real people don't tend to realize that their thoughts could have an action or could have an impactful thing in their lives. People tend to think, no, that's BS. But if you use it, for example, a couple of years ago, I had a meeting with one of my good friends that it's a really good really good fan of Dr. Joe, and he gave me the book, The Placebo It's Me. The Placebo, You Are the Placebo. Um, I read Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which I have right here. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's been with me for a long time. My mother-in-law gave it to me a couple of years ago. Let's say, like, I don't know, 5 6 years ago, 7 years ago. But 2 3 years ago, they gave me You Are the Placebo. Um, and and he gave some instructions on it. We did a meditation together with all his team, with all his board of directors, everyone who was interested in his work. And one of the things they did there, they said, give me something that you want to do, that you've always wanted to do, and you haven't done it because you didn't have time, because your environment, because your body, whatever. And I said something really spectacular. So let's say an ultra marathon. I've been doing marathons for 20 something years, 25, 27 years, and I've done more races, 10Ks, 5Ks, 42Ks. Like I've done 22 marathons, like 300 5Ks, 200 10Ks, and 190 21Ks. So it's been a long run for for most of the parts since I was 17 that I did my first marathon. So, but for every marathon, we used to train at least 4 months, sometimes 2 3 months, but most of them I would train 4 months, and and I would do two, 3 or 4 sessions every week. And I said to myself, I said, what if we do an ultra marathon? And with an ultra marathon being 50K, what if we can do that and in 1 month? Say so we tested the environment, we tested the body, and we tested the the your time. We tested the three of them. Overcoming time. Normally we do it 4 months. Overcoming your body. What if your body can do it 50K in a month? I had no previous training. I wasn't doing any training before that. And then overcoming the environment, the place where it's going to be. So overcoming the three of them, and we put that as a big goal. That 1 month for 50K in a place in a in a special place. And so we found a place in Wisconsin. My sister-in-law had told me the 9th of, I don't know, 9th of September. That's the day of the race, and it was like the 4th of or 6th of August. And he said, "Oh, I got only 1 month to do this." So training with his methodology, with the example of using your beliefs every single day, using the meditation in the morning, using the practices he develops, and put it into thinking, doing, being, and he started doing and doing every single day. What I did was I started training every single day for at least an hour and a half, running really slowly because I needed to get long distance. I did some sprint, some other training, but most of the time was doing long runs because it was going to be a really long run, and we had such a short amount of time. So in the weekends, I would run 3.5 hours, 3 hours, but every day, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. And the result was that I went to the challenge. It was a North Face event in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee. And one of the things was when I received the number, I asked one of my mentors in running. His name is Dean Carnazes. I asked Dean, how can we do this? I have had, I just have a month training, and but I'm a really big fan of you, and I've been running for many years. He said, don't worry, do every single station. Every 5 miles, there's a station. Go every 5 miles. Do this like this race was every 5 miles, and accomplish that. And once you accomplish every 5 miles, boom, 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 you'll be getting there. You'll get there. So that's what I did, and I finalized it, and I was amazed because um, it was a hardship. It was really really hard to do it. Changing your environment, your body, and your time, and that was really fantastic. So you can do anything if you set your mind up to it, and you can change your physiology with the thoughts of your brain. And one of the things he's been doing, and in his retreats, the immersion processes, what's been happening is that people tend to focus on their recovery and giving gratitude for their recovery already in the quantum in their meditation, and they give thanks, and all of a sudden they realize that they're cured. And he's been curing people with diseases like a stage 4 cancer, people who hadn't been able to walk for 20 or 25 years, 30 years. um People who had been suffering from many different illnesses during the course of their lifetime, many different, 10, 15 years suffering, and taking pills for pain, taking painkillers, taking drugs for many different pathologies. And he would find out that with the meditation, with the meditation, using the new beliefs, using the mantras, using your utmost beliefs, he would cure them, and the remissions are incredible. Within the retreats, the remissions are immense. But also, people who just follow him, read his books, and do the meditation by themselves, he's been having a lot of testimonials of people who have um, become totally healthy because of the meditation, because of the way of changing their thinking. So if you focus on the problem, you won't find the solution. If you're thinking on the problem, and thinking of the difficulties, thinking of the consequences of the problem, if you're all the time thinking in that, then you will focus on the consequences, you will focus on the problem. All you will get is more problems, more consequences, more difficulties. But if you focus on recovery, if you give thanks for your recovery, if you focus on your bones being corrected, if you have a problem in your bones, if you focus on being on seeing, for example, people who are blind, if you focus on seeing, if you focus on touching, if you focus on your taste, if you focus on and smelling, then you will get it. But you have to focus with such an intent, and with such power and gratefulness, that it becomes real. And um and for that, I am really really excited with Dr. Joe, and anyone who can be in contact with his work. um Try to see his work with an open mind. It's the immuno psychoneuroimmunology, which is a new area, a new very very diverse area from the medicine. Will will make huge and the biggest changes in the life of people. And during this pandemic, one of the most important things to have, it's a immune system that it's really powerful to attack and to be able to defend yourself from the virus, from the COVID-19. And one of the first things to do if you are listening to this recording is you better start boosting your immune system, your autoimmune system right now. Um, and how do you boost your immune system? It's been proved by scientists all over the world, not only Joe Dispenza, not only Dr. Joe, but many scientists around the world, that there's a connection. There's a connection between the brain and the immune system. And there's a connection between the brain, the immune system, and your psychology. So if you have a mindset, it all starts with your mindset, with your thoughts. If you change your thoughts, you change your brain. If you change your brain, you change your life. And that's one of the things he does. You change your thought every single day in the morning, and then you change your brain. Your chemistry in your brain works, and that works through your physiology, and then you change your life. And that's one of the things that goes through with any given situation. If you have a problem, if you have someone in your family passed away, and it's really really hard, you switch. Instead of being regretful, instead of being resentful, instead of being um, a victim, stating, for example, that this terrible thing happened to you, and it will, and it can happen to any one of us. Um, you start thinking about the good things that this person did in your life and how his behavior changed and swift your life, and you focus on the positive things around it, and then you switch your mind to a grateful state, and you give thanks that this happened in order for you to prevail. You give thanks that he lived for 48 years or 55 years or 79 years, whatever time it is. And then when you're grateful, then you when there's great gratitude in yourself, there's no resent, and there's no hate, and there's no way of you being sick, or you getting an illness because of that. And why do I say that? Because normally people tend to think that stressful situations, such as a parent or a family member passing away, can be so impactful in the lives of people that it can affect them, and then they can be ill as well. So when something really odd happens, I don't know, you lose something really important, your house, your business, whatever thing it is, and something really stressful. Um, this process of changing your thoughts, changing your brain, and changing it for the better. Because if you get stick, if you stick focusing on the problem, you won't have the solution. It's a good friend of mine told me, don't be preoccupied, occupy yourself. So when you change and when you shift that thought into occupying yourself, then you find yourself with a lot of opportunities. Many other things open up, and people don't tend to think that that works, because they think it's BS. They think, nah, that's not going to work, and it is. It does work fantastically. And one of the things that he actually believes, and that he does immensely every single day, is long long meditations, breathing exercises, um, all those things. When you start thinking about your breathing is so important for your immune system. We are all wired into into a mayhem at the moment, with all the responsibilities, work, office, kids, school, college, whatever it is. There's so much noise and things happening around, and then the COVID-19, and then the traveling, and then whatever you need to do to uphold and to um, improve your business, your career, your employment, whatever it is that you're doing. All of those things are fussing and buzzing around, and all of those, there's a lot of things going on. There's social media, there's the news, there's elections, there's a lot of stuff going on, and all that is it's obviously powering stress all over the place. And people who are really stressed out, really stressed out, are the most prone to an illness, the most prone to an illness. Maybe not right now, but in the near future. So. One of the most amazing things about meditating in the morning and meditating in the afternoon or in the evening or whatever you have time to do it is that it allows yourself to breathe in and breathe out. It allows yourself to oxygenate your brains, and it allows yourself to boost your autoimmune system. Remember, there's a chemistry, there is there's a single connection between there's a tri connection between your psychology, your brain, and your autoimmune system, and what you eat also. Your intestines are your third brain, your second brain. And so watching out what eating, breathing, and meditating, all of these three things together, the psychoneuroimmunology will help you out thrive in any circumstance, in any given situation. And and he explains that so easily in his books and in his teachings and in his YouTube channel. He has a lot of content for free. Go ahead and devour that. And there's a lot of content in Spanish also. I did this, and it's saved in my IGTV in Spanish. So this same speech is done in Spanish a couple of months ago, and when we were starting. And another thing that it's really important is for people who maybe don't know, or maybe think that this is impossible for them, or that maybe think that this is something irrational. This all his teachings and all his research is based upon science. It's based upon his being his by him being a doctor, being a scientist, and using meditation as something that only gurus did and something that only illuminated people did. That combination, he brings about meditation into the neuroscience, into the epigenetics, into the biology, the chemistry, and the cellular biology. And by bringing these concepts together, you find yourself with a scientist with logical explanations of what it is, and you will find it so easy to understand that the things that happen in your life are all based upon your thoughts, and your thoughts and your beliefs. That's why it is so important to break paradigms. When people tend to say, for example, it happened to me many times. It happened twice in my life, in my lifetime. Thank God I met Joe Dispenza a couple of years ago. But if I met him before, I think I met him before in the quantum. When I was 16 years old, I was told by a doctor that I couldn't run a marathon in my life, that I wouldn't be able to do it because I have a flat foot, and that was gonna be impossible. It was a paradigm that science had back in the 80s, and I said, this guy has no clue what he's saying. He has no idea. And so I did it anyway. And I trained. I did my training, my 4 months. I trained with my dad, and I finished the marathon with my dad. We had a fantastic time. We did it in 4 hours and 24 minutes, and it was amazing. And after that, I've been doing 22 marathons. I've been doing 300 races, or more than 600 races, and in total. And it's really amazing how can a belief of a doctor can try to sweep out or swipe out or destroy the brain of a kid. And that's really important for you guys who, you bring your kid to a doctor and he said, this is there's no way you can do this, there's no, let's question that. And I think we need to rethink and re-question many of the things that are happening. And and when someone tells you there's no way of this, no way of that, and there's then you'll be dead in 6 months, there is a different option. um, there is no way a doctor can limit yourself. If that's his belief, that's okay, but switch, change, get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion, a fifth opinion, whatever opinion you might have, and come to Joe Dispenza's retreat, and you'll find out that that there are many solutions and different solutions that you won't find here in the present moment with the matter here, but you can find it in the quantum. Because when you meditate, you get yourself into an elevated emotion, into an elevated process, and then you can solve things up there that brings about to life right here in the present moment. So it is very, very crucial that you, despite any circumstance, despite any doctor's opinion, despite anything that a priest might say or that another person might think, there is another way, there is a chance, and there's a possibility for you. So never get stuck with one opinion, never get stuck with one option, never get stuck with what a priest says or what a preacher says or whatever. And I don't mind, and I don't mean to um, intrude into politics or religion or different opinions, but there are many different solutions for your problem. If you have a health issue, if you have a problem with your business, with your partner, whatever, there's other solutions, and those solutions can be found in meditation. So that's more or less what I wanted to tell you all this morning. um, Dr. Joe Dispenza for me has been revelation, because it puts in really easy terms quantum physics with meditation, and he brings about both together. And Dalai Lama, many people know Dalai Lama, and he used to say, everything's happened for a reason, and everything you can find good in any given situation. And and there's a hidden part of Dalai Lama that many people don't know, that he was a great scientist as well. Because being a guru, he found himself thinking, being, and doing things in the quantum that helped him uh, develop himself here in the present moment. So, um, Dr. Joe Dispenza brings about all this information really easily for anyone to understand, and the process, it's it's so simple that you will be able to get a lot of good knowledge, and it would impact and change your life of your friend, of your family, of someone that you've seen that has been doing very difficult situation with a cancer, with a disease, with something that is happening to him, and and you want to help, and you want to help him, and you want to try to impact him to improve his life, or to embrace a new thought. This is the opportunity. Listen to his teachings, listen to his research, and listen more, and try to be open-minded, and try to listen to different speakers all over the world that are talking about the psychoneuroimmunology, and how your psychology impacts your neurology, and how your neurology impacts your immune system. And and for the last 24 years, 25 years, neuroscience has been having a breakthrough, and has been developing immensely. Even though the brain was one, it still is one of the most important vital organs in the body. Medicine would wouldn't, as it was such a difficult organ. It has been difficult for science to understand the brain, and and it can be one of the few vital organs that's the less studied of them all. But but as soon as the science the scientific world realized that, they started doing, and it's been like the last 10 to 15 years, they have started to study more and more the brain. And with that comes people like Dr. Joe. That there's many people, Dr. Daniel Amen, and many doctors all over the world. In Venezuela, we have a fantastic psychoneuroimmunologist called Dr. Castes. There's people in Argentina, in France, in India, obviously talking about the psychoneuroimmunology, and follow them and try to get get a breakthroughs with them, and then you'll realize that it's going to be so powerful for your life. So thank you so much for following me this morning. We'll start doing motivational Mondays next week in Spanish with different Venezuelan role models, and we'll continue from there. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much.